down. Following the departure of Siddhartha, Kantaka died of a broken heart. The image here, taken from one of the four Puranas at stupa number 1 at Songchi, shows Chandaka with the horse Kantaka during first decades of the 1st century AD. When the Buddha himself was presented in an uniconical fashion, his presence was indicated only by the umbrella and shawri visible above the horse. This is Kantaka. At about the same time, Surya, the sun god, steered a cart drawn by 4 horses, often representing the enlightenment of Siddhartha, as in the example from Bodh Gaya to the left. The round plaque to the right dates from the Ashokan period and is kept in the Patna Museum. Following the 7th century, Surya's chariot was pulled by 7 horses, but we don't know their real name. This shows a sacrifice of a horse, which is tied to a so-called yupa or sacrificial pole. It is a detail from a lintel found at Pavaya, now in the Gwalior Museum. The horse is small. This is the yupa, and of course, you know the story when Vishnu in his dwarf incarnation tricked and became Trivikama. Now, interesting is that the inscribed sacrificial posts at the government museum in Kota, Rajasthan, have dates, and they are dated to somewhat 295 or 238 CE. So these sacrificial posts are shown here relief. The inscribed stone horse of Samudragupta at the entrance of the Lucknow Museum, from the period of this monarch, he reigned from 335 to 375 CE. This stone horse is covered on his belly with a shankalipi or cell script, a term used by scholars to describe ornate spiral characters assumed to be Brahmi derivatives that look like conch shell or shankas. It's an almost life-size horse in stone. Please mark that usually the ears of such horses are broken off. This horse, probably known to most of you, is in the vicinity of Agra, near a mosque which was built for a saint called Khwaja Kafur. And near it, you see the life-size sculpture of a horse. According to the Archaeological Survey of India, the story goes that one day the Emperor Akbar rode his favorite horse from Delhi towards Agra for a distance of 195 kilometers, and near the spot the horse became exhausted, broke down, and died. The horse was buried where it fell, and Akbar installed the statue on the grave. A date between 1580 and 1605 has been attributed to the carving, which would predate the mosque construction which we saw before by at least 65 years. It is also interesting to note that the statue was originally found near a railway line, not far from the present boundary of the site, and transferred and erected in its present place, in 1922. And then here you see the signal of the railway line behind. One of the most famous horses today in India is Chetak, the horse of Maharana Pratap, who ruled about 1550 to 1597. This is a painting in the collection of the Udaipur Museum. Here a detail. Chetak charged Man Singh's elephant. Man Singh commanded the Mughal army, putting his front hooves onto his trunk in a bid to give Pratap a chance to throw his lance, Maharana Pratap. Unfortunately, Maharana Pratap missed and killed the Mahout instead. Man Singh could escape, as did Maharana Pratap, whose horse was severely wounded but carried its master to safety before it breathed its last. The Chetak Chabutra, or memorial to Chetak, is situated in the Aravalli Hills in the Lake District of Rajsamand at the village of Palicha. In 2003, the shrine was declared a monument of national importance in Rajasthan by the Archaeological Survey of India. Chetak died on 21st June 1576. And here we see Chetak with its armor on it in the museum at Udaipur. But there are more horses like this. In a battle fought by Maharao Raja Umit Singh, who lived between 1729 and 1804, the son of Maharao Raja But Singh of Pundi, who ruled between 1696 and 1735, he waged war against the army of Jaipur. Umit Singh had to retreat. When on the run from his enemies, he reached the guard of one of his allies, the chief of the fortress of Indagar. The latter, however, rejected him. Umit Singh's horse Hanja was so exhausted that it passed away. In memory of this faithful horse, a statue was built, which stands to this day in one of the main roads of the city of Bundi. These photographs were taken by Ganpatrao Abchikali, photographer of the Bundi state, in about 1900. You see the horse here, an enlargement from Abchi's photograph. Here from the opposite side of the road, and here with the Moti Mahal in the background, where later His Highness Bundi he was to stay. Today, the replica of Hanja is fully colored, which you see above. The inscription at the horse below, the same is only partly readable due to some plants. The armor of a warrior and his horse is on display also in the armory or Silekhana as part of the City Palace Museum in Jaipur, here with one of its directors, the late Yadvendra Sahai, with whom I had the pleasure to work from 1983 onwards. Another full-sized replica of a horse stands at a very busy square of Kota. The Kota Historical Society claims that this is a horse of Lieutenant Colonel James Todd, 1782 to 1835, whose horse reportedly was buried at this spot. The replica as such, however, is of a recent date. Besides, it might represent a part of a shrine in honor of Tejaji, who is shown riding a white horse visible at the left-hand part of the slide. Veer Tejaji Maharaj, and here is Tejaji on a white horse. Of much more ancient tradition, however, is a life-size figure of a horse on an elaborate pedestal situated opposite of the entrance to the British cemetery in Kota. The color of this horse resembles the color of Todd's horse, as shown in one of the paintings kept at the City Palace Museum at Udaipur. Besides, its basis is too impressive to represent a horse of minor historical importance. The life-size model of a so-called Panch Kalyan royal horse on display in one of the several rooms within the Rao Madhur Singh Museum, Kota, was presented by Norbert Peabody. The model was made by Giriraj Prasad of village Bonrajedi in district Baran, Zila, Kota. The 5 auspicious marks allude to the 4 white fetlocks and the white stripe on the forehead down to the muzzle, as His Highness Kota and Pandit Ashutoshji informed me earlier today. Here the fetlock and here white stripe on the forehead. At some courts of Rajasthan, the horse is still venerated by the royalty as part of the Dasera or Dashara celebrations, mostly held in the month of October each year. Here we are at the City Palace of Udaipur in the year 2004. Each caparisoned horse is brought forward to Maharaj Arvind Singh Ji of Meva. Both Arvind Singh and his elder brother Mahendra Singh claim to be the 76th custodian of the House of Meva. Fact is that many Rajput traditions are continued mainly by Maharaj Arvind Singh Ji, whom we see here after he has paid respect to one of his horses. This ceremony is called Ashva Puja, or veneration of the horse. Notice in this image the white jacktails that are attached here to both sides of the saddle of the horse, also on the other side. Exactly as shown in this Kota drawing of the horse here. Also, the white horse of Kalkin, the last avatar of Vishnu in the sequence of Dashavatara, here in a mural from a former school in Jaipur, shows these white yak-tails attached to the saddle. Here even more than 2 there, probably 4 on each side. Here a similarly decorated horse photographed during the same ceremony in the year 2000. And here a piebald horse facing the Maharaj. You see it here, and here you see all the royal insignia in the palace of Udaipur. A photograph taken almost 24 years ago when almost no Western tourists attended such ceremonies. When we look at YouTube, it has changed quite a lot ever since. Here we are in the City Palace of Jaipur, where the Ashva Puja follows the Shastra Puja, or veneration of weapons. Each horse is brought forward to Maharaja Sabai Bhavani Singh Ji of Jaipur, who conducted the ceremony. Here, latest Highness Jaipur. As part of the ceremony, Bhavani Singh Ji waves a lamp as during an arati. The text recited by the Brahmin with the red shawl behind seemed to be Sanskrit, with some hints to His Highness in Hindi. Here is the waving of the lamp. Since 17 April 2011, the boy next to His Highness This is the 12th Maharaja of Jaipur and the 40th head of the Kachwaha Rajputs. His name is Maharaja Sabai Padmanabh Singh Ji Bahadur, whose relation to horse continued ever since such ceremonies. He became a known polo player. Here a view with the standing attendants carrying a morchal or chowri made from the white tail of a yak, the symbols of royalty all over Rajasthan. Here the sunbars or morchal, sunbars, and here the morchal. This is also called chowri. Also part of the Ashva Puja is what might be called a buggy puja, the veneration of the horse pulling a Western chariot. Most rulers of Rajasthan, Rajasthani courts were using such chariots. Here an example from the Buggy Khana at Sirohi. The white chariot is used by His Highness Maharao Raghubir Singh Ji of Sirohi for presenting himself to the public during the Dasera festivities. The ride out takes place after dark. The horse with the Sirohi standard, or Gora Nishan, leads the procession. The coach with the Maharao is accompanied by torch bearers and insignia bearers. One of the most important insignia is the chhatri, or umbrella. On the streets through the city, many inhabitants put flower garlands on their respected Maharao. Thereby, the most important royal insignia is the umbrella or chakra next to the chowris or sanbars, even at night. Also, Maharao Ram Singh of Kota, ruled between 1826 and 1866, took part in a procession related to the Dasera celebrations. Rather than sitting in a coach drawn by white horses, he preferred to ride a white horse himself. One of Maharao Ram Singh's favorite horses was called Karni Bagas. This is attested by at least 4 inscriptions on paintings or drawings. On the 10th day of the bright half of the month Asoj in somewhat 1914 or 1857, Maharao Ram Singh rode the horse Karni Bagas at the time of the slaying of Ravana. This is what the inscription on top says. Here you always see encircled in red, Goro Karni Bagas, Gora Karni Bagas, Goro Karni Bagas, Karni Bagas. Here's a preparatory drawing of the Hot Karni Bagas from a private collection. See the inscription here. In this painting on paper from the Rao Madhu Singh Museum Trust, Kota, Maharao Ram Singh, along with several of his nobles, is seen at pig sticking or swal kishikar. The horse is again Karni Bagas. Here a detail of this caparisoned horse, again Karni Bagas. The buffalo hunt during Dasera or Dashara from the horse Karni Bagas. Maharao Ram Singh is wearing a helmet and chainmail like a warrior. It's a special ceremony which no longer exists since 1922. Maharao Umit Singh had forbidden the slaughter. Another depiction of the buffalo hunt with the horse Karni Bagas. The garden at the top right is called Rangbari in many inscriptions. It includes a shrine dedicated to Hanuman called Balaji in Kota. As in the image seen before, Maharao Ram Singh is dressed like a warrior, chainmail and helmet. Here again of the procession to the Ram Lila ground, as it would be called today. The painting is under glass in the porch of the Bara Mahal in the Gar of Kota. You see it's a tent in the day of the Asoj right half in the year 1914 Sambat. In an almost square-sized painting, Maharao Ram Singh rides the horse Kesa on the occasion of the annual buffalo hunt during the Dasera festivities. The inscription is on the back of this painting, which is in a private collection. Also on the back of this painting are mentioned the names of all these nobles riding with him. And here again is the garden called Rangbari. When playing Holi from horseback with his nobles in the Jaleb Chowk of the Kota palaces, Maharao Ram Singh rode his horse Rana Bagas. This painting is now in the collection of Elvira and Gursaran Sidhu in Seattle. This probably most spectacular event performed by Maharao Ram Singh of Kota on horseback happened in 1850 CE, when the latter managed to bring up his horse on the top roof of one of his palaces. For achieving this, he had a special wooden ramp to be built. The horse was a patadar. It is a chestnut horse with a narrow white strip on the forehead. Even a British officer, George Bruce Mellison, watched in admiration of this steed here. The Patadar horse was used for other special occasions as well. Here it appears in a meeting with Maharao Raja Ram Singh of Bundi. He lived from 1811 to 1889. Here he is. Seen partly here concealing the Patadar horse of Maharao Ram Singh of Kota. Here you see this white narrow strip between the forehead and the muzzle of the horse. In about 1620, Rao Ratan, the ruler of Bundi, the most powerful ruler of Bundi, he ruled from 1607 to 1631, who was also the progenitor of all the Kota rulers, rode a similar horse, which might even possibly be called a Panch Kalyan horse. It is a horse with 5 auspicious marks, consisting of 4 white fetlocks, in addition to the white strip from the forehead to the muzzle, you see in this painting. Here a contemporary wall painting in the Badal Mahal of Bundi. On the first day of the bright half of the month Asoj, corresponding to September, October, in somewhat 1896 or 1839 CE, Maharao Ram Singh rode his horse Bhuvani Bagas or Bhuvani Bags in the Jaleb Chowk of the Kota Palace. This is what the inscription says here very clearly, Jaleb Chowk. And this is so interesting. Try to remember this is the Hatiyang Pole or Elephant Gate. And this is a big tower in the fort, all of which still stands. This is a photograph taken from a Nicolite aircraft taken by Arvind Singhji of Meva, where you see here the Elephant Gate or Hatiyang Pole, and here the tower on the other side. The painter painted it from this direction. Maybe we can go back a while. Oh, it doesn't go back. Okay, then. Sorry. One of the favorite sports of Rajasthani rulers was the game of polo. Maharao Ram Singh was no exception to this rule. We see him here playing polo near the fortress of Kagraon, seen in the top right. The name of the horse is not given in the inscription on the back. Here is the fortress of Kagraon. It was already one of the favorite sports of Rao Ratan of Bundi, as demonstrated here in a mural from the Bara Mahal in Bundi from circa 1620 CE. Polo, or chowgan, was introduced to India by the Mughal rulers. This tradition was continued by Maharao Ram Singh Umit Singh II of Kota, ruled from 1889 to 1940, here in a photograph taken approximately in 1888. He's probably seated on a polo pony because the tail is either bound or not visible. No, sorry. And here in a photograph taken at about 1900, where he is here with the holistic Maharao Umit Singh Ji. Another photograph shows him in a polo ground near Jodhpur. First Jai Singh of Bambulia, and here His Highness Maharao Umit Singh of Kota. A polo group near Jodhpur, where polo is still played to this day on a grand scale. They are from VVIPs from Paris. And here, and it's showing Rajmata of Jodhpur and His Highness Maharaja Gaj Singh Ji of Jodhpur during a polo match, which I had the chance to photograph some 25 years ago. The most famous polo player from Jodhpur is present His Highness Jodhpur's son, Maharaj Kumar Shivraj Singh Ji, who unfortunately suffered a serious injury during a Birla Cup match at the Rambagh Polo Ground in February 2005. Here another view of the Chowgan. Interesting is the wall, particularly the same wall you can see in the Badal Mahal of Bundi, dated to 1620, the wall painting. And here we are in Jaipur with one of the protective fortresses in the background. And we have exactly 7 horses with 7 polo players. I think this was a match of New Zealand against Pakistan, if I remember well. It took it more than a quarter of a century ago. And here, to finish this, 7 life-sized horses cast in bronze at the Kishore Sagar in Kota to terminate this short survey.
Wonderful, Joachim. You were racing through history, showing us such a wonderful selection of carriages, sculptures, wall paintings, miniature paintings, and sketches. It's really fantastic. I love the buggy from Siroi, also having again this blend between European influence and Indian, then leading us through the game of polo, showing us some wonderful wall paintings from Kota. It was just really wonderful to see this together, just curated for you for Palace Day. I'm inviting the audience to ask some questions. You can type the questions in the chat box. I'm just waiting for a few minutes. And if you don't have any, then we conclude our Palace Day celebrations today with this wonderful lecture. We have a recording of it on YouTube. I think this is the university YouTube channel, so I'll upload it on the Center for Historic Houses YouTube channel. Thank you very much for attending. Thank you very much for celebrating with us, all the scholars who prepared so much for us to make this a wonderful success. and have a look at our Instagram to see some more of the new features that we introduced. Artwork under the lens, where we have short, in-depth recordings of one particular artwork, where Professor Bautz is also talking about the Kota painting with the horse on the roof, which is really wonderful. Many other things as well. We were so happy that the education officer of Rashtrapati Bhavan participated, and so many palaces from all over India. Thank you very much. Good night. Have a lovely evening and nice weekend. Bye-bye.
Recording stopped.